Here at Panam 360, we have the pleasure to have with us Club Sagacité. Club Sagacité is from the Moonshine collective that was instigated 10 years ago by Pierre Kwenders and co-founders DJ Farafina and Hervé Coltan Kalongo. In 2020, they set up Club Sagacité in Parc-Ex in Montreal, launching a creative and performance space for artists, particularly visible minorities from underprivileged backgrounds. So the styles that were involved were many, very diverse: koupé-décalé, kuduro, batida, gqom, amapiano, raptor house. From Paris to Abidjan, from Kinshasa to London, and now everywhere in the world, Moonshine events and Club Sagacité are everywhere and presenting Afro-electronic musical discoveries from Africa, from the Caribbean, and from Latin America. And because there's an event presented by Nuit d'Afrique on July 19 at the Fairmount Club, le Fairmount, Farah Sintime is with us to talk about this event and also the evolution of Club Sagacité. Bonjour, Farah.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Va très bien. So let's talk about the origins of Sagacité and where you're at now, because now we join you a few days before the Montreal event and you're somewhere in Europe because you're presenting some events there, I suppose.
Right, exactly. So I'm a resident DJ. I guess to talk about the origin of Club Sagacité, we'd have to talk a little bit about the origin of Moonshine. It's actually co-founded by Pierre Kwenders and Hervé, as well as Felix Brochet and Stephen Michel. And myself, I came on as a resident DJ quite early on. And the reason for the origin of Club Sagacité was just a way of Moonshine wanting to give back and kind of like open the doors to anybody who wanted to kind of I guess be a part of a kind of network, and that's what Club Sagacité has become over the last 2 years. It's become a network of creatives, a bit of an ecosystem of young DJs, musicians, even some visual artists and dancers from the Afro-descendant people, or anybody who is anybody who really just wants to walk in and find a community, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's mainly, directed by Afro-descendant. There's a aesthetic leadership from Afro-descendant that live in Montreal and now are more or less world citizen because you're everywhere in the world. And also you welcome any people from any races and communities if they embrace this aesthetics.
The reason that we started the project was specifically to, I guess, counteract or to really address like socioeconomic barriers that people from disadvantaged backgrounds can face. And so this is why we keep the membership price low. This is why we keep the workshop prices low, is just so that people from those disadvantaged backgrounds can have access to the resources. And so, while we prioritize like people, Afro-descendant people, we are open to everybody. But really it is about kind of supporting those who wouldn't generally have access or aren't likely to pursue a career in the arts because of things like generational wealth and etc.
And of course, your audiences are broad and totally heterogeneous, are from everywhere, from every races, from every kinds of markets, every kinds of countries, every kind of backgrounds, because everybody now that are open to new music must be open to the new Afro-descendant experiments from Africa, from Caribbeans, from Latin America, from North America, from everywhere in the world.
Yeah, I think that at the club we have a specific set of values, right? Which is, of course, like respect, tolerance, love, So I feel like if you understand those values, then you know where we are, you know where the door is, and you're going to be there, basically.
That, of course, we will be. And this time at Nuit d'Afrique, what are you going to present to the people from this festival, the attended?
So the curation for this one in particular was really Black women to the front. So we have Mopao Mumu, who is an amazing, amazing performer. She did perform at our showcase at Osgang Plaza last year for our anniversary and really blew the roof off the ceiling. She's amazing. And then we also have Fanella, who I would say her style is kind of like what a lot of young Black people are playing these days, which is kind of just like a bit of music from that their parents listen to, music that they listen to on the radio growing up in Canada, you know, music that they're hearing on the internet. So all of those combined to like express themselves and what it means to be them. And then we also have Miss Baby, which is like is playing everywhere. She's a Montreal favorite. She's Cameroonian from France, and she plays anything from Afro beats to hip hop to Afro house. She kind of goes everywhere as well. And then there's me, I'll be playing there as well, my usual styles also.
And what is your usual styles? What are your usual?
Oh, so I played at a festival recently, and somebody said there, somebody said something that I really feel hit it on the nail for me. They weren't talking about me, but they were talking about all of the Black female performers there, saying that Blackness is like many different things. It's not just Afro beats, you know, it's not just Afro house. It's also me like growing up in Calgary, Alberta, listening to, I don't know, No Doubt. You know, remember No Doubt with Guns? It also means that. That's also my reality. So pretty much like the other people on the lineup, I'll just be exploring like all of my influences pretty much and trying to create something that, you know, can connect with the audience.
Is this event a mainly mixing event, or are there some live sets with original music, or also included involving some instruments, or it's mainly DJ?
So Mopao Mumu is a live performer. She's a vocalist, and she does have it'll be a fairly simple setup for this show, but she does have like a bass player and somebody on the keyboard generally, and a DJ. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
Like that. And the other artists are more DJing?
More DJing, yeah. The rest of us are DJing.
Yeah, and adding your own spices.
I think so, yeah. A lot of spice.
Yeah, sure. And if you see the evolution of Club Sagacité through the years or the months, how do you see it? How do you see the evolution of the setup, the organization, and the quality of performances, etc.?
Yeah, well, I think we're really just what comes to mind when you say the evolution of quality performances. It's been an actual pleasure, truly, to be a part of this project and watch people launch their, you know, musical DJ careers, dancing careers, launch them at Club Sagacité through a workshop, and then continue their development by using our resources, like using the equipment in the space to practice, and then they grow their network there. And then they'll attend like what we call Music Industry 101, which is it's like panel discussions that we have bi-monthly or every other month, I mean to say, and it just focuses on like the business aspect of the music industry. So it could be grant writing, or it could be just highlighting like an artist's personal journey, like a successful artist's personal journey. We had a music supervisor there one time, and then we also have somebody coming next week. It's a artist and label partnership manager from Spotify in Toronto. So we have these people come and talk to the members as well, and seeing like the members that have been there for the 2 years from the very beginning to who they are now. Well, it's like talent is one thing, but it's also like the the knowledge that they've gained from the experience of the mentors that are around the space, you know, or from the guests that we've had come through the space, and like the connections that they've made. It's been a pleasure to watch people develop, like artists develop, and to watch their journeys. I can think of a few artists that I've seen start DJing, and to where they are now, it's quite inspiring.
Cool. And what is the difference between Club Sagacité and Moonshine itself?
Oh, big difference for sure. Do you mean like in the what it is? Well, essentially, Club Sagacité is a part of Moonshine, right? It is a project that was initiated by Moonshine, but I think the focus is different, because the focus for Club Sagacité is more like, I guess it's like the opposite of gatekeeping. It is like trying to kind of give some support to emerging talent in Montreal, right? And for Moonshine, how I see it anyways, is that it's been about celebrating like Afro-diasporic music, culture, film, everything, influences, celebrating it and pushing that culture in a way that, you know, it wasn't happening when it first started. So I think that is the main difference between the two.
Excellent. So Farah Sintime representing Club Sagacité, that will be performing on the July 19th at Le Fairmount very soon in the context of the Festival International Nuits d'Afrique. Thank you very much for this, and welcome back in Montreal after your travel.
Merci, Ale. Thank you.
À bientôt. Ciao.
Ciao.